Welcome, fellow audio sorcerers, wizards, and gurus to my channel. I'm Dan Spencer, and I am the audio sorcerer. So this is a channel which teaches you how to perfect your recording, mixing, and mastering skills. So in today's video, we are doing a plugin review on the new 2gether Audio Space Duck. Now, the Space Duck is a reverb and delay plugin all in one, and it features a ducking algorithm. So if you guys don't know what ducking is, definitely stick around for this tutorial to find out, because it's super beneficial when it comes to reverb and delays. And it's fortunate that it's actually built into the same plugin. So I do want to give a shout out to 2gether Audio. I don't do any sponsorship or anything with them, but I think that they have a cool business model. They make plugins and software, and they basically let you be able to choose your own price for them. And they also give a portion of the purchase to a charity of your choice. You can actually select from the charities on the website, so it's pretty cool. So I'm putting a link below. You can go check them out on your free time. And before we get to the video, I do want to remind you guys that I offer mixing and mastering services. If you go to audiosorcerer.com, you can check out my samples, my rates, and I give 10% off to new customers. If you guys have liked this video, give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. So with that being said, let's get to this tutorial. Alright, so here we are on my computer here, and we are on the 2getheraudio.com website. And this is where you would go if you want to get this product after watching this tutorial, if you end up liking it. If you go to Products, you go to Effects, and you go to Space Duck, Reverb, and Delay. This will take you to the product page. Now, you have an option to try it free first to see if you actually like it, or you can just buy it outright. If you click the Buy button here, this is what I mentioned in the introduction, that you can pick your price. Now, there is a minimum of $10. And it can go all the way up to $100. So my suggestion is to probably try it free first to make sure you like it. And if you end up, loving it, then give as much as you can. And if you don't have a lot of money, then just give the $10. A portion of the sales do go to a charity of your choice. So that's actually kind of cool. So yeah, if you want this, you would just simply add it to the cart for the price you want, and then check out, and then download it and install it, and be all good to go. So let's get into Pro Tools now and take a look and see what this plugin actually looks like. Alright, so this is the Space Duck plugin by 2gether Audio. This is what it looks like here. Now I do want to mention for Pro Tools users that this will show up in your delay folder of plugins and not your reverb, so just keep that in mind in case you can't find it. So yeah, I mean, you got the logo over here and the name. You got this cute little duck here in the corner. And overall, I think the GUI look-wise looks really nice. From someone who just kind of dabbles in graphic design, I think it's pretty cool looking. So what I want to do first is go over all the different parameters in here, and then after that, we will actually give it a listen. Alright, so let's first talk about the preset section, as pretty much every plugin has presets, so does this one. I believe it has 100 or so, which is pretty cool. So if you click on the black bar here, it's going to launch these options here. So default content has all your default presets in here that are provided by the Space Duck plugin. So for combinations, this is actually reverb and delay together, so it's kind of cool that it has presets for that. And then delays are simply delays, and then reverbs are simply reverbs. And then also you have options to create your own, and you can put your user presets in here. Now, essentially what you can do is if you pick a preset and then you make modifications in here to it, if you right click here, you can rename it, and then all you gotta do is hit the save button. And to my knowledge, it won't actually overwrite any of the existing presets that come with the plugin. It will put them in the user preset folder, which is kind of cool. So next to the save button here, we have this E button, which I thought was actually gonna launch Microsoft Edge to give me a user manual, but it doesn't. It actually launches this little authorization window here, which I'm not really sure why this is here. When you first launch the plugin, you have to authorize it. So I'm not, well, it looks like it, okay, this is gonna be for future expansion packs, it looks like, I see. Okay, that's kind of cool. All right, let's close that. And then we have this little speaker icon here. If you click on this, it basically launches your news and updates. You can choose how often you want this plugin to look for new updates. So I have mine set to daily. You can do weekly or never. Kind of a weird choice for an icon for a update to the plugin, but that's just me nitpicking. And then this over here, if you click on this icon here, I'm not sure what it looks like, but it is basically an option to increase the size or decrease the size of this plugin here. So this will tell you the resolution over here, and I think normal is good for my screen size here, so I'm going to leave it on that. Now over here on the right, we have the dry and vol buttons. Now the dry button is not necessarily what it sounds like. The dry button is actually just the input level of the signal coming into it. And you can actually see the meter for it right here. And the overall volume is going to be the out meter here. So don't get confused by the word dry. It's not a mix knob. Your mix knobs are down here actually. And then beneath those, we have the limiter. Now, the only reason I could think the limiter would be beneficial is if you're going to be putting this on a track. Now, I prefer to put all of my effects like reverbs and delays on send, so the limiter would not be very beneficial in that because we never really send a huge amount of level to it that would actually make it clip. So keep in mind the limiter is going to be if you're going to put it directly on your vocal track or your instrument track. And to the left of the limiter button is the expert button. And when this button is enabled, it adds a bunch of extra controls to what I call enhancers in this plugin. So all the enhancers are all these little extra features in here that make this plugin what it is, like bit crush, decimate, fractal, things like that. And if I click on it, you're going to see that we have all these extra controls for each of those. So we won't talk about those yet. I want to start in simple mode. And then we will begin with just going over the delay plugin, and then we will go to the reverb plugin. So starting with the delay plugin here, over here on the left we have the time for left and right, and then a sync button, which is pretty common for any delay. If you click on one of the left or rights here, you'll see that your actual delay time that it's set at pops up there. And then for feedback, it's the same concept. It'll show up there what they have the percentage at for how much feedback is going to happen. And then you can also link them, which again, that's pretty much in every other delay. Now, going over to ducking, this is actually what makes this plugin cool. This is what made me want to get it, is the fact that I can duck the effect while I'm actually singing. So what the concept of ducking is that it's going to allow for a more clear vocal while you're singing and let the sound of the delay and reverb kind of come up as you stop singing. So you can do this with a long pre-delay on a vocal, but the problem is that that pre-delay is going to continue on even when you start singing again. The ducking feature will reduce the reverb or the delay as soon as you start singing, even if it's left over from the prior words that you said. So it helps for a cleaner vocal. So I guess we'll just kind of leave this as is for right here. And for ducking to be enabled, this has to be lit up blue. So the release knob down here is completely related to the ducking feature here. So this basically is saying, how long is it going to take for the effect to come in after the vocal's done singing? So, you're going to probably want it to be somewhat quick, but you also want it to be kind of smooth. So this allows you to kind of fine tune it to make sure that it kind of comes in properly and doesn't just jump out at the listener. So that's a nice feature to have there. And over here to the right, we have the level knob, which I mentioned earlier is the mix knob essentially, if you're going to put it directly on a track. But since we're using it on a bus, I'm going to turn this all the way up to 0. To me, that is basically the unity level we're going to want it at. So I'll put the reverb up here also. Now, again, if you have this on a track, you would use this knob to dial it in. But since we're sending to it, we're going to use our send to dial it in. All right, so let's talk about the enhancers in this plugin here, as I mentioned before. So the mod button here will give the delay a chorus sound. The fractal sound will give it a kind of a metallic ring to it. I want to say almost kind of that little 8-bit sound. In music, I don't know how useful that would be, but maybe in cinema or some sort of sound design, it could be kind of cool. And then the bit crush button over here will give the delay a lo-fi sound, which could be cool for experimental sounds, and I can imagine using it maybe like an indie rock, or there's several different lo-fi genres out there today which might benefit from it. And then the decimate button here, the website says that this is basically for introducing ringing aliasing artifacts combined with the degradation of the signal at higher knob settings for outwardly sci-fi sounds. So we are probably not going to use this today because this looks to be more for cinematic sounds that you would do in sound design. And then below these are pretty common. We have a high pass filter and a low pass filter. So if we want to get more into the settings of these, all we could do is go to the expert button, as mentioned before. And this just allows us to fine tune these sounds. The rate and depth, those are pretty common settings for a chorus sound. And then fractal, as I mentioned, it gives a ringing sound. We can decrease or increase the ring sound, and then the depth for that. And then this option over here allows us to basically just turn these on and off or increase their impact on the sound with this knob here. So it's not a ton of extra controls for those, but it's something. And again, to enable any of these, you got to make sure that these buttons are lit up in blue like that. So let's actually go back to the simple mode here, and let's move on to the reverb section. And for our reverb here, we have our type selection here, which is above space. So if you click on this, you'll see that we have halls, plates, and rooms. Now, they don't tell you what type of halls or rooms they are. It's basically 1 through 9 for all of them. So I have no idea whether it's a concert hall, a cathedral, a studio, or whatever. So I don't really like that. I don't like not knowing what it is. Below that, we have size, and that's going to be the size of the space. If you click on that, it's also in percentages. So I also have no idea how big the room is. If I'm being honest, I don't like that either. The ducking and release features are exactly the same as the delay, the same with the level, as we said it before, and then so are the bit crush, decimate, high pass, and low pass filters. So the only thing different with the reverb, besides what we just talked about, is the granular and formant. So the granular button here splits the reverb into grains, and that's described as short audio snippets, and you can actually manipulate them a little bit more in expert mode. And then the format button basically enables a format filter, which is supposed to give the reverb a vocal-like sound, and you can make further enhancements to that also in expert mode. So let's take a quick peek at expert mode and see what settings we got for each of these. So it looks like for granular, we have a mix knob for it and also a shift knob. And I imagine that's gonna, give it more or less of a granular sound there too. And then for format, if you click on this here, you actually have some interesting things. You have males and females in here, and then you have the whole like A-E-I-O-U sounds you can go in here. So that's pretty interesting. I'm not really sure how that will work, but it's kind of neat. And then you have a bounce knob and a mix knob. So that is pretty much all of the settings within this plugin here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to test it on this verse vocal I have in this song, and we're going to do it on simple mode and probably use presets, to be honest. So let's do that first. All right, so I know this vocal is going to need delay and reverb. So let's actually look in the combination presets here, and let's see if anything makes any sense for vocals here. Lush, Hall, and Delay would probably be nice for a ballad, but not for this song. This is a pop punk song. Slapback plate could be kind of cool. I think maybe this plate and ping pong that I currently have on might work the best. So let's actually just re-enable that. That gets everything back to default. And again, we are using this as a send on a bus, so we are going to crank these all the way up. Let me unbypass it. And I do have this on an existing reverb track, so let me actually disable the reverb that's currently on there. And let's actually go over to the vocal here and listen to it to see what it sounds like currently. And I believe it is, let's see, I think verse 2 vocal here. Let's solo this up, give it a listen.
And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you. For the rest of my life, I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around.
Okay, so you actually kind of heard it with all those effects, which actually this effect was currently on with it too, so just ignore the fact that you heard that. I think currently it is on the room reverb track, so let's actually just enable, I'm sorry, not room reverb, but vocal reverb. So let's actually just enable that. And let's give it a listen now, and this should be this plugin in action.
And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you. For the rest of my life, I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around.
All right, let's actually hear what that sounds like in the music. I have a little double vocal in here that makes it a little thicker. We're going to leave this off because I just want to hear it basically as is with this delay on it. Let's give it a listen.
Every time we talk, I can't get enough of you. For the rest of my life, I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around.
So it sounds pretty good. I cranked it really loud because I wanted to see how well the ducking works. I wanted to see if I could still, understand the words and it wasn't buried, in reverb and delay. I do want to check the high pass and low pass filter settings here real fast. So our low pass for the delay, 3.51 kilohertz, and the high pass. Okay, so it's going to be very mid-range delay sound. And then our reverb, 1.5 and 83. So yeah, the reverb's not going to have a whole lot of effect in there either. I might want to open that up a little bit more, but let's give it another listen.
Every time we talk, I can't get enough of you. For the rest of my life, I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around.
So that's actually starting to sound pretty good. What I did was I added back in the little doubler effect I have it on, and then just the room reverb with it. So basically this delay in verb here is taking the place of delays and verbs that I already had in there. So let's give it one more listen and dial it in just a little bit more and see what we think.
Every time we talk, I can't get enough of you. For the rest of my life, I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around.
Cool, I actually really like that. So let's try some other presets in here and see what they sound like. We'll try a couple other ones. I will turn off these other effects. So I don't know, why don't we just try that other one I was talking about, the slapback plate. Let's give that a listen in solo mode.
And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you. For the rest of my life, I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out.
All right, let's hear that in the mix.
And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you. For the rest of my life, I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around.
Cool, so that's actually sounding pretty good too. Let me add in the other effects I want with it, and let's hear it again.
And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you. For the rest of my life, I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around.
Cool, so it actually sounds really good. What I kind of like, but I also don't like it, is that for these vocal presets, you can tell these are for vocals, what they're doing is they're giving these effects a very mid-range sound. And with the ducking enabled on it, it almost makes us want to turn it up a little more than we're used to. And what it's doing though with this mid-range sound is blending in. It's making the vocal sound a little bit more, I don't want to say nasally, but maybe just a little bit. But it works well for this singer. Now I know for myself, who actually is overly nasally, this would not be a good setting for my voice. So I think instead of doing more presets, why don't I actually go through the delay and reverb separately and enable some of these different enhancers they have in here so you can hear what they sound like and see if they'll be useful for any projects you're working on. So I got the track slowed up here. I'm going to turn off the reverb and we'll start to delay with how it is, and I'll start making some modifications to it.
And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you for the rest of my life. I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around. And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you for the rest of my life. I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around. And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you for the rest of my life. I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around. And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you for the rest of my life.
Okay, so that was pretty much all of our delay settings in there. So the Mavericks, of course, you kind of sound, which was pretty obvious. And then the fractional sound with the ring, again, it does exactly what it says it would do. I didn't really hear much of a lo-fi sound with the bit crush, but the decimate was quite interesting. Again, that would not be used so much in music, but for other things. So let's move on to the reverb and try that out.
And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you for the rest of my life. I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around. And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you for the rest of my life. I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around. And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you for the rest of my life. I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around. And every time we talk, I can't get enough of you for the rest of my life. I need you by my side. I wish we could just lay here and watch the stars come out just for us and no one else around.
All right, cool. So for the reverb, the granular effect was definitely interesting. I'm trying to think in my head places I would use these at, and I can't really think of a situation where I would use the granular effect. And the format was kind of interesting. As you can see, it kind of retoned the reverb with these syllables. Well, not syllables, but these vowel sounds like, A, I, E, O, U, depending who I chose. And obviously with a female sound, I made it a little more female sounding, with the male, a little bit more male sounding. And then I messed with the space sounds over here. And I will say, actually, the hall sounds pretty lush. I actually really like how that sounds. And the plate's actually not bad sounding either. And, the room is fine. I have another reverb I would rather use room for, but sounds good. And then also increase the size a little bit so we can kind of hear it a little bit more. So those are pretty much all the different parameters. This is what this plugin could do. And there's a lot of different presets in there. Obviously, we didn't try. We're not going to go over all 100 presets. But I'd be curious to know what you guys think of this plugin. I'd be curious to know if you think that this plugin could potentially be your go-to reverb delay plugin, all in one, of course, and maybe replace what you're currently using. Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe because I love making this content for you. And make sure you hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. So with that being said, until the next video, I will see you guys later and peace out.